I'm back. Yes, has it been 4 years since my last video? Absolutely. But am I reactivating my YouTube channel? Also yes. So hopefully you're gonna see me every week now. This time I am gonna make it happen. I know in my last video, my one and only video, I did promise. I ended up with saying, see you next week, and it never happened. But here I am. So to whoever is wondering what happened, why you didn't post more, why did you disappear? For me personally happened, it's really hard, at least for me, record myself, especially editing. I think that's when I failed, and that's one of the things that I'm improving. I don't know if anybody here is a foreign, speaks another language, but I swear in my head I don't hear my accent or my grammatical errors. I sound perfectly. I know in the reality I do have a thick accent, but when I start editing myself, I start getting really subconscious on how I was pronouncing words or how I was having grammatical errors and saying things like, why are you saying things like that? And it got so much into my head that when I was editing the last video, is kind of like, oh, okay, I can do it tomorrow. That feels like a lot. And that tomorrow turned into a week, and that week turned into a month, and then into a year, and it snowballed, and then suddenly it's been 4 years. But I'm gonna get over that. I'm gonna get over my accent. I already accepted a part of my reality. Also, I've been living here for 6 years now, so it's kind of like who I am. So who cares if I don't have a perfect English? I'm not aspiring to. Here I am only aspiring to be an artist. So, a quick recap. What happened in all this path? So, on my last video I was talking about how I became an artist, taking the mastery program from Milan Art Institute. I did finish the program, I did graduated, and I did become an artist. And I will say 100% thank you to that. It's a program that lasts a year. It teaches you a lot of skills. It teaches you marketing. It teaches you how to paint. It's awesome. I also now, the other reason I decided maybe I'm not gonna finish is now I'm a coach and a mentor of the program. So I feel also, and also like in 4 years, my ideas and my things have changed. So I have, I think I prefer continuing my videos of talking about my current collections and what I'm currently painting instead of talking so much of the past and what happened 4 years ago. But as I mentioned, I'm sorry, I'm going in circles. As I mentioned before, I'm gonna do a quick recap. Graduated 2021. It was still the pandemic, really hard. It was still closed. So graduating there, and if social media skills are not your thing, it's not easy. So I graduated. I have all these great ideas, but as an artist, and I think in every other path or any other career, you have so many options that for me was really overwhelming, because I'm an overachiever and I wanted to do it all. I wanted to accomplish it all, and I wanted to try it all, and I did. And that leads me to kind of like a path, and I think it's a lot of trial and error. I think a lot in life is kind of trial and error until you figure it out, what is the journey that you want to do. So when I graduated, I was into, what should I do? Do I want to go to a gallery? Do I want to go like a social media 100% and become, I don't know, an online presence? Do I want to go full into my website? Do I want to do live shows? Do I want to paint? Do I want to do classes? Do I want to do workshops? The options were infinite. And for a person with ADHD, that sounds like a lot. And it was too many things. So the path I chose, presence, doing online things, in-person things. At that time it was hard because, again, the pandemic, so everything was closed. So I started with doing a lot of prints of my art, and I started doing doing my website, promoting traffic online, pushing a lot with that. That started getting good, and eventually I was also living in a smaller place. I was renting a bedroom, so my easel was literally next to my bedroom. So also in terms of production, it was hard to create more art in order to produce new things to post online. So then I moved into this apartment that I live currently, and this is just part of my easel. I can do another video of a studio tour. It's not a big tour because I also find out another thing, that I cannot have a studio that is separate from the place I live, because I get distracted too easily and I get excited too easily with new projects, that unless I have my easel, this is in the middle of my living room, not in the middle but in a corner, unless it's happening in my living room, I am not gonna pay and I'm gonna get distracted with the new shiny thing in my path. So it's basically my apartment with a studio with an easel, art studio here, and in the corner over there is my desk. But it helps me keep productive, and I still like separate enough that I can have my rest space and my creative space, but also I like that sometimes they kind of merge together. I also do pottery in my studio. I kind of like do everything here in my apartment. Basically, I'm just here all day. So what else? I'm moving to a big spot, this big place, and the city was finally opening. Yes. I also, so when it was finally opening, I started doing more shows. When I'm saying shows, what do I mean? I didn't start, again, I didn't know the social environment in my town or like the art scenario in here. So I started joining any event that was happening that had a vendor outside. I was there. That doesn't mean art events. That means that I was in a club at 2 a.m. Selling stickers that I created just so I can be out there and feeling that I was doing something and earning some money. Was it in absolutely ridiculous places? Yes. Was absolutely ignored? Also yes. The cool thing with that, I maybe didn't sell anything, but it helped me first learn how to sell, because once you have you're sitting in your booth and you see hundreds and hundreds of people not even looking at you, and you're like, they're like, excuse me, can do you want, like, the shyness goes away really quickly. I went to like, excuse me, to like, hey, this is my art, come and approach me, really quickly. And it also helped me to develop a lot of social skills, approaching to people. Shyness, what is that? You forget about it really quickly, especially when you have bills to pay. And it helped me to network a lot. I may have not made a lot of sales in an event or a concert in the middle of the night, but it did lead me to people that were connected with other type of art. It led me to commissions, to other spaces, to our events. So slowly people say like, hey, by the way, have you heard about this other event? No, what is it about? And then I found kind of like my niche, and I started doing then those type of art events. There were more arts and beers, and let's have coffee and art and stuff like that. That was kind of more my scenario, and it was great for the prints I was doing in that time. So I started joining those, I started having sales, I started meeting more people, and then I started having more connections, and then I started doing some murals. And then all that led me also to work in a store, and that store offered me a space to sell my art. So then I officially could stop doing the shows. Also, the shows were really exhausting after a year of going every week to a new show. I realized that's not my path. There's for some people that could be amazing. It wasn't my line. So I started having that store. I started doing classes, art classes. I love doing art classes in person. There was it was a store in Santa Monica, in the downtown of Santa Monica. If you don't know the area, it's really popular with a lot of tourists. And again, the city also was 1 year of opening, so people were really eager to come here. So I started doing a lot of classes to that, classes to family, with kids. It was really fun. I started doing more projects. I started painting skateboards, because it's kind of like a skateboard culture then in Santa Monica, literally where the skateboard was created. So it was really cool. I started also having like side endeavors. Like, for example, at some point I was given like a city tour in a bike, telling the story of the area, and then sometimes that merged finishing up with an art class. So it was kind of like all connected in kind of this creative path. After all that happened, I realized also I was getting more into the teaching, and at some point stopped painting less. So that's when I started reactivating my social media and I decided, okay, I need to start painting more. So I decided then to do a challenge for myself because reasons. I like to, again, overachieve and make things harder to myself. So I decided to do for 30 days, do 30 paintings and painting online of animals. I did record it. I didn't post all the videos because, again, I wasn't that good at editing, but I manifested to get better. So I started doing that. That reactivated my social media a lot. That expanded my network a lot too. I sold, I think I only have 2 pieces left from that, but because I kept them. So I sold those pieces. I met new collectors, though led to even more opportunities and showing my art in different parts. And that was all really fun. So then I keep doing that. I kept painting. Then when the store closed, at some point the store closed, I moved to another, they just closed. So then I move a lot of my classes into my art studio. So I do a lot of classes in here, not a lot currently because I shrink. I'm doing more things in my studio, more pottery. So I only have like a few students here, but are really fun. And I'm doing workshops, so I'm kind of like outsourcing again the art classes that they're really fun. What else? The art classes that I'm doing. Also, in between of all of this, I didn't only stuck to the painting medium. I also started doing a lot of pottery, and I started mixing art and pottery and doing like new creative and doing new forms of art in my perspective. I start to expand my creativity. I feel like whenever I limit myself into one medium, I limit my creativity, so I start expanding and really embrace the mixed media art. After doing all of that, I decided also to put more effort into my online presence. So because again, I wasn't ready for my social media yet, or not that I wasn't ready, I think I was feeling really scared about it and really intimidated. I decided to study more website and then improve my SEO. And then how can I generate more traffic into my website and start doing more sales into my website. And slowly I've been building like big network. And I'm currently, last year I also start being a coach and mentor for the Milan Art Institute, so that's been amazing, and I love everybody there and all my students, and it just keeps my creativity alive, and I love connecting with people that I can talk about art, but also at the same time I'm getting bigger in my networking around my area, and I have scheduled already 3 shows this year in Santa Monica, so that's gonna be fun. So I'm gonna be posting this, so keep posted. And in all that, I also did competitions. I did art battle. I actually won 1 year. I think I have competed 3 times. One of them was like in association with Sharpie. There's different events. One of them was a private event they have invited me. So I've been all over the place figuring out what I like, and also not trying to put myself in a box, because one thing in all these years that I have learned, at least for myself, is that I don't like to do the same thing every time. That's when I get stuck and I get bored. So I've been expanding and I'm always evolving and I'm always trying new things. So that's what I want to show here. I know this is more kind of like me talking video, but in the next videos that I definitely swear that I'm gonna post weekly, I want to show more into my mixed media and more my art process and how do I get these new ideas. I'm working in 2 collections. One of them is art and also with ceramic. The other one is just color theory and a lot of lighting. So I want to show all that and share it with you guys and just connect. And just this is my other way of now. Is my online connection era. So yeah, so if you want to join my journey and connect and tell me your ideas, subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Awesome, and I'm so happy to be back. Bye!